And we are back with not the team that brought you Lessons from 100. Oh, Weber Floyd Productions, because that is our real name. Having promised in our last video, in which we made our picks for the top 10 Oscar awards, that we will be back doing a more in-depth video on all of the Oscar nominees, which we are going to do. But we're going to do it in a fun way because it is, at present time of recording, late March, which is that lovely time in which college basketball, the NBA, NHL, all the good stuff coincides and everyone's favorite stuff comes into the social consciousness, which is brackets. And that's what we're going to do. We have constructed a fairly large bracket with 40 movies on it, attempting to find the best picture of 2025. There are seeds. The seeds are in accordance to major awards won. Obviously, the best picture winner, One Battle After Another, is the 1 seed. The runner-ups and second most Oscars won, Sinners, is the 2 seed, and so on and so forth. I'm going to list all of them for the case of my own audio, but also for the viewers. We have looked at over 40 movies this Oscar season. We looked at One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet, Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, F1, K-Pop Demon Hunters, Train Dreams, Begonia, It Was Just an Accident, Blue Moon, If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, Weapons, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, The Voice of Indrajab, The Perfect Neighbor, My Mom Jane, Song Sung Blue, 2,000 Meters to Andreevka, Avatar Fire and Ash, Surat, Wicked for Good, No Other Choice, The Ugly Stepsister, The Alabama Solution, The Plague, Jay Kelly, Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, Zootopia 2, Arco, Sorry Baby, Nouvelle Vague, Little Amelie or the Character of Rain, The Testament of Anne Lee, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Hedda, Black Bag, and The Lost Buzz. Oh, that's another thing about our video. We have looped in both documentaries and animated films into all of the fun.
Right.
We're going to be doing another video later, like another month or so, just about documentaries.
Yes.
But for this video, we took basically the cream of the crop in terms of documentaries and threw them up against narrative film pairings. And before we close, I want to give out some honorable mentions, the films we didn't look at, because we didn't look at Oscar full-on non-contenders, which were Elio, Come See Me in the Good Light, and Cutting Through Rocks. We couldn't look at movies that are not out yet, which are a bunch of BAFTA winners, Pilion, I Swear, Kokuo, and Bong, and My Father's Shadow. And then there are other movies that did get some high-level nominations, but the reviews are middling, so in filling out the bracket, we went past them. The Smashing Machine, Die My Love, After the Hunt, Jurassic World Rebirth, and The House of Dynamite. And then these are the movies that I feel like we need to look at, which are the lower-level nominations, like Critics' Choice or lower-level Oscars. We didn't really have time for these, but Left-Handed Girl, Rental Family, Baylen, Warfare, and then the 3 blockbusters that got this, which were the Naked Gun remake, Superman, and How to Train Your Dragon, and then a couple of sequels that we didn't look at because we hadn't seen the movies that came beforehand, which were Demon Slayer, the last Mission Impossible movie, Bridget Jones, and 28 Years Later. But we got 40 movies in there, and we got them all into a bracket. Great big one. as we go through each of the different movies, the major awards won and the semi reasoning for them being the seed where they are will be displayed on the screen. And is there anything else you want to say?
No, I think that this is a fun way to look at it. You know, everybody's immersed in March Madness. They're looking at brackets. So I like that you created brackets for this. And
Bracket.
bracket, at first glance, you might think, well, how is a number 32 seed going to compete with the number 1 seed? And maybe they can, but let's see. Anything can happen.
And we are like, this is us being subjective. For those of us who watched our Oscar picks video, we explicitly say there's a movie in here that is our favorite movie of the year, and surprise, it's not the 1 seed. So who knows what might happen. Right. And that's the other thing. So there's brackets. The first round is basically all the movies that weren't really nominated for Oscars, but they won or were nominated for a decent amount of other awards like Critics' Choice, Golden Globes, Guilds. And that first round is just going to be them against each other, and they're pretty much then going to be going up against the highest seeds. Who knows if they'll be able to put up a fight, but this allows us to at least talk about them. And then once we get into the deeper rounds, we will be making our selections based off of the hypothetical scenario of the movies going up against each other as if it were NBA, NHL, MLB series. So we're going to be giving out numbers of like, this movie wins 4-1, or this movie wins 4-2, or these two are so close, this is barely anything. This could go either way. That's going to be 4-3. It would be great if there were 7 of us doing this, because then we could literally do that in literalism. But we're going to be making our projections based on what we think vis-a-vis the greater construct and our personal preferences.
And we should also say this will be our last video about the Oscars and the movies, but you will stay tuned because the next videos are going to be about our favorite television shows.
Yes. And that's going to be even beefier than this one. Way beefier than this one. So stay tuned. That's going to be in parts. This is one video, one bracket, but you'll see in a few days what happens with the bigger one.
And I should say, I looked ahead of time at the movies, the seeds, and the brackets, but I purposely didn't want to study it too much or make a decision on which one I wanted to pick. I'm going to let it be spontaneous in our discussion.
Yeah, I tried to as well. I tried to.
It's harder for you because you created the bracket.
If there was like similar wavelengths in terms of seed numbers, like what's the difference between 24 and 25, 29 and 30? It's like I tried to pair movies against each other that are tackling similar issues, so then you can sort of talk about them in that way, as opposed to like pitting like 2 movies that are complete opposites, which would be harder, even though that might happen in the later rounds. We did watch not all of the movies that both of us watched. There's some movies in here that only you watched and some that only I watched.
Right.
So when it gets to that, that's kind of going to be a almost unilateral decision. But otherwise, we shall see.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun with it.
Let's raise a glass to that.
Let's raise a glass to that. And to the movies.
To the movies. Beginning the wild card round. We have 8 matchups, beginning with the lowest seeds, the 32 seed matchup, which is between Black Bag and The Lost Bus. 2 thrillers of varying degrees of emotional intensity. Mm-hmm. Winner of this will be going up against one battle after another, hence their positioning. Okay. And both of us have seen these recently, but we have both seen these.
This is tough. I liked both of them, Black Bag and The Lost Bus, but I think The Lost Bus is based on a true story, based on the Paradise Fire in California, which was horrific. It's based on the book that was done about it and the stories a reporter gathered. If people don't remember the Paradise Fire, it was, I think, the worst California wildfire. It wiped out the entire town of Paradise. And this is based on a true story. Um, I think, though, I'm going to go with Black Bag, not a perfect movie. I had to watch it twice because the plot was a little convoluted. But some of the things they changed in The Lost Bus from the true story kind of bothered me. So I guess for me, I'm voting for Black Bag.
And see, it's interesting because until you told me about some of those things they had changed, um, this morning, I was leaning towards Lost Bus in this category because I do think it's more emotional and it
Mm-hmm.
like
It
has that
is more
sort of
emotional.
like deadbeat dad like figuring out his way, and then you told me all that is fabricated,
Right.
and then it's like because you're right, like Black Bag is not a perfect movie. There are moments I think it's the Black Bag would be a great miniseries. It really
Yes.
would. It's
It,
like if
it
that were a 6 episode series that could like be up for like Emmys and stuff. I think
yeah,
it's like
it's a
so there are
spy
moments that I
thriller,
think it.
a sort of British MI6 spy thriller. The plot is very complicated.
And
Once
moves
you
very fast.
and it moves very fast. Yeah. Once you get it, the complication is interesting, but it moves very fast. But yeah, I think I'm going to vote for Black Bag.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right. What comes next? Do we do the other
Next
wild
up, we
card?
have the ugly stepsister versus No Other Choice, aka with the question: one female, one masculine. If you are down and out, what are the lengths you're going to do in order to try to reach the top? Um, did you watch the trailer for the one you haven't seen?
I watched the trailer for the Ugly
So
Stepsister
you
because
know
I
it's
hadn't
a
seen
it's
it.
a it's a redoing of
Of
Cinderella.
Cinderella.
Yeah,
Um, I did really, really like No Other Choice.
that would still be my choice.
It would.
Um,
Okay, good.
it's like the Ugly Stepsister is a very interesting premise,
Mm-hmm.
and I would recommend watching it. But there are moments when spoofing it works, and other times it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And with no other choice, one could say it's like it's just a man's journey. The journeys of the two different wives are
Oh
very
yeah.
very interesting in what it does there, and like I no other choice is way more consistent in terms of
And it's for people who don't know the movie. It's a South Korean movie. It's a very twisted tale into what this guy does after he's laid off by the corporation and loses his job, and decides the way he can ensure being rehired is to kill all the people who might be ahead of him. Very twisted, very funny. Uh, so we both agree we're going for No Other Choice. Yeah.
yeah. Up next, we have two animated movies, both in here because they're both adventure movies. They both have parallels of stranger in a strange land and deconstructing some grander socio-political elements. The winner here will be going up against Secret Agent, hence their positioning.
What are these two, Matt?
We have both seen these, which are Zootopia 2 versus Arco.
Oh, oh man, this is a tough choice because I liked both of them. They're very different. Uh, I I think I'm going to go with Arco.
Same.
Yeah.
Because, like, this would be tougher, I think, if it were the first Zootopia, because that Zootopia 2 continues at the first world's messaging. It's very
Right.
fun. Um, allegories and synonyms, and there's that twist, which I think you know what I'm talking about. Sort of 2/3 of the way through the movie, which really does hit and is well done. But then I do think the resolution of Zootopia 2 is a little easy.
Yes,
Um,
and Arco is really unique in the plot.
Without being too much. It's like it's a very
Right.
simple motif of you never watched Castle in the Sky by Ghibli.
No, I don't think I did.
It's like it reminded me of that a lot, which gets dunked on sometimes by Ghibli purists for being simple. But if you're exploring a lot of different, both emotional and metaphysical aspects, having a simple line and motif to hold on to isn't a bad thing. Um, and like, yeah, Arco left me very emotional by the end of it.
Yes, and it really captured the way children behave and think, and it's really a beautiful, poignant story about this. I guess Arco is like 11 or 10. He's almost 12.
It's
It
somewhere in
wasn't
that range. I
clear.
forget the
Yeah.
exact age.
And you're not in this, they're in the future. And in this culture, you're not allowed to fly until you turn 12. And he so wants to try it that he does. And then havoc ensues with some dire consequences.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is that like
Yes.
the ending resolves, but it's
Yes.
like
But there's a
there are
lawsuit.
consequences.
There are
It's
consequences.
like, and that's like I felt that.
Yes.
I don't want to spoil anything, but
No, I don't either, but it's a beautiful movie,
and very Ghibli esque,
and very
which
Ghibli, even though
for
it's
me
not by the Ghibli
is a major
studio, is it?
draw for me.
Yeah, it's beautifully made. So while Zootopia 2 is a lot of fun, Arco has more sort of meat on the bones to it, I think.
I agree.
All right, what's next?
We have the 29 seed off. The winner of here will be going on to face sentimental value. So we have Nouvelle Vague versus Sorry Baby, which is kind of two elements of sentimental value if they were decoupled, which is making movies and dealing with trauma as a woman. And hence the pairing of these two. And we've seen both of these.
We've seen
So
both of these. Oh. Nouvelle Vague is it or Vague?
I
Nouvelle
thought it was Vogue when we watched it, but I think it's actually Vogue. I think it's
Vague.
Nouvelle Vogue.
Is a story about the making of the movie Breathless, which is part of the French New Wave. And if you've seen any of those movies by any of those filmmakers, it really captures it, and it's filmed in that style.
And showing the power of art.
The
That like
power of art,
there are like
yes.
a lot of skeptics to what he's doing, and he just keeps on going and
He just
captures
keeps on
these
going
deeply
and creates a
emotional
masterpiece.
essences. Yes.
Um, Sorry Baby is a much smaller movie, but it really captures, the recovery from trauma. It also has a lot of humor in it, though.
Yeah, it does.
And the young woman who plays the lead is so moving, just so moving. This is a tough one choosing between these two, but I think I'm going to vote for Sorry Baby.
Same.
Ah,
Because
interesting.
I think, of course, Nouvelle Vague being French, all in French, about film creation, of course, that's going to
Right.
speak to me. Um, but it's like you said, Sorry Baby is a small movie. I went into it thinking it's like, okay, uh, movie won, it didn't win. It was nominated for a couple Critics' Choice and Golden Globe Awards. Like, what do we have? And it like when you're dealing with serious subject matter to balance
Yeah.
that tone of authenticity, comedy, and pain in
Yes.
a real way feels very hard to do, and the fact that it stays real even
Yeah.
in its resolutions, I give that a lot of. It's the same as you said
Ye-
with Arco. I feel like there's more meat on the bones.
There's more meat on the bones, and it captures also the power of these female friendships,
Hmm.
or despite, as she's recovering from the terrible thing, as she calls it, this trauma, and it's really kind of pushing the world away, but she never pushes her best friend away.
Yeah.
And the bond between these two women um, was really moving. So yeah,
And it's
it
interesting for me you say that
yeah.
because when I watched it, it reminded me a little bit of Fleabag, which I know you didn't like.
No,
You,
I didn't really give it
like
a chance.
it didn't vibe with you the way it has with a
No.
lot of other people, but this movie did. So it's
Yes.
like, yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of An Inconvenient Child. Remember that movie? Yeah, you. It's a yeah. It's
Oh, you
about
mean
the
you
young
start thinking of the obvious child?
obvious child. That's right.
Yes,
I
yes,
agree. The obvious child, where a young woman is struggling with whether or not to have an abortion or not, and um, it just reminded me of that movie a little bit,
which is small, but
which is
really,
small,
but leaves an impact.
but
Yes.
leaves an impact. So interesting. We're both voting for that. So
Yeah.
yeah, voting for Sorry Baby.
Alrighty. Up next, we have the Battle of the 31s, which the winner of this will be taking on Sinners. So we have two movies in which a bunch of people come together in an enclosed space, and what's going to happen after that? Varying degrees of health, success, music, toxicity, contrast of the two. You've only seen one of these, but you've seen the play that the other one is based on. So
Yes.
I'll leave your thoughts first before I
Yeah, I have. And
go
this is,
unilateral here.
I do know the play Hedda Gabler. I don't know this movie version of it
Oh right, it's the Ballad of Wallace Island versus Hedda.
versus Hedda. Um, it's a little unfair because I haven't seen Hedda, but I think I'd be picking the Ballad of Wallace Island anyway because I liked that movie a lot.
So would I.
Yeah.
Like Hedda got some low reviews, which this is maybe like the outside of today the last movie I watched,
Mm-hmm.
and because they changed some roles to make them LGBTQ, but
Ah,
I think it works for the movie. You're still dealing with trapped people doing unhealthy things,
mm-hmm.
but still feel true to them. Um, but the ballad of Wallace Island, the power of music to be able to heal you, um, troubled people making each other better instead of
Right.
worse. It's like that's probably going to see a trend if there's a pairing between two movies, one which kind of leaves you traumatized and the other one is kind of makes you feel okay. I feel like we're both going to end up picking the
I think you're right about
yeah.
that. It was,
So
and it's not that the Ballast of Wallace Island is takes easy paths, um, or gives you, you know, it doesn't wrap it all up in a bow. It doesn't give you the easy ending that maybe you're expecting. But even with all of that, it's sweet and poignant, and how you heal from loss.
yes,
And in a year when so many of the movies were tragic and sad
like
and
Hedda
like
is
and
tragic and sad.
painful and hard to watch, this one was a breath of fresh air. I really recommend it. And again, not a big movie, not a big budget movie, but a really lovely movie. Folks should watch it.
We are aligned there.
Yes.
Alrighty.
What's up next?
We have a battle of movies in which, in which group institutions dehumanize one portion of them, which is the Alabama solution, prison inmate dehumanization versus the plague, which is using a skin disease and swimming metaphor to go at how adolescent bullying and dehumanization happens there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one, I didn't get a chance to see the plague, though I did watch the trailer for it. The Alabama solution, and Matt knows not only are we documentary filmmakers, but I love watching documentaries. This one I found so painful that I couldn't stick with it, and that doesn't happen to me very often. But the way these men are treated in the Alabama prison system today, in in the 2025, as opposed to 100 years ago, it's so cruel that I just found it painful to watch. So I can't really speak to these two. I'm going to just defer to you because one I bailed on and the other one I didn't see.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm glad that I watched Alabama Solution today because I was skeptical going into it, and it is a heavy lift to get past the first 35 minutes. It does get to some other side in which there's at least discussions as to how you can get to solutions on this, if there are any. Even if some of those solutions are intervention from higher governmental systems, which, I don't know how feasible that is right now. But it feels weightier than the plague. The plague is a very interesting metaphor. Like, there's a line in Alabama Solution about how the guards were often bullied when they were younger, and then they turn around and bully the people who are lower than them. And that happens in the plague. A character gets bullied and then starts going at the person lower than him, and you're showing how that hierarchy happens.
Yeah.
In a weird way, I almost feel like the Alabama solution is offering more solutions if you get past the part that you bailed on.
That I bailed on.
So I'm not taking away the fact that it's hard to watch, and especially in the first 30 minutes, but like, there's at least a semblance of another side. So I would go for that.
Also, great kudos to these prisoners who smuggled out these videos they made, at great risk to themselves, so that the world would see this. So yeah, I'm fine with you choosing it. Like I said, I didn't see the plague.
Well, now we go to, from a case in which I've seen both and you haven't. Now we go to a case in which you've seen both and I haven't, because now we go to the 27 seed off. The winner here will be taking on Marty Supreme. We have two movies about men in artistic pursuits trying to do life. And we have Jay Kelly versus Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, which was one of the last seeds to make it onto this bracket. Kudos to its one Golden Globe nomination for Jeremy Allen White.
That's the other point. All of the films on this list had to have won something.
Or nominated for something.
Or nominated. Had to have been nominated for an award or won, maybe, even if it was a minor award. This is a tough call.
This goes to you, because I haven't seen Jay Kelly.
I've seen them both. Jay Kelly stars George Clooney as a movie star, grappling with coming towards the end of his career. Springsteen is about the boss, Springsteen, grappling with his newfound fame towards the beginning of his career. Yeah, I mean, Jay Kelly has more humor in it, but I think Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere is a stronger film. Just in terms of the emotional impact of what he as a character is struggling with, the trauma from his childhood. Um, I just think it's a stronger film. Now, ironically, the film that matches up a little better with Marty Supreme is Jay Kelly. So that's the kind of complication, which one to go with.
I mean, I put Springsteen here because I feel like it can match up with Marty Supreme because Springsteen does begin to drift towards therapy and Marty does not.
Marty does not. Well, that's true. I
Um,
think I would vote for Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere. It has a deeper emotional impact to it. Um, I'm not, yeah, that's, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away too much in Jay Kelly. I enjoyed the movie. I thought George Clooney was wonderful. It's a little more superficial, I think, than Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere is. So that's my vote.
and I can just give my 2 cents in saying I don't get why there was aspects of blowback on the Springsteen movie
I don't either.
because it's like in terms of biopics that I like in which taking a segment of someone's life
Right.
instead of trying to do the whole thing and showing a journey and like it's a good movie and I'm saying that not just because I listen to his music.
Right. I
Um,
mean, and it's interesting. I mean, as much as I love Springsteen and I'd listened to so much of his music. That was an album I hadn't ever listened to. So
that's true.
before we went to see the movie, I did listen to it. It is incredibly sad and powerful. But then in seeing the movie and where that came from and why it was so important to him and what he was grappling with and struggling with. I don't know why there was blowback either. I thought Jeremy Allen White was terrific. I thought Jeremy Strong was terrific.
Now, at least the audience reviews were higher. Like when I
Interesting.
was looking to find a way to fill out the bracket, Springsteen scored higher in terms of audience reviews on Rotten Tomatoes than a lot of the other movies that we're not looking at, and some even that we are looking at. But it's like
Gotcha.
why the critics were like dunking on it. I don't
I have
fully.
no idea because I think a biopic where you take a moment in someone's life rather than try and do the entire life and the whole all of his music, it would be almost impossible in a 2 or 3 hour movie. Um, so
And
you're
highlighting the importance of therapy
and
as
highlighting
was
it was
before.
about mental health, it
Yes.
was about therapy, it was about authenticity. I think it's a really beautiful, powerful movie. So Jay Kelly could have been better. I really believe that. I think it had an emotional story to tell but doesn't deliver it as emotionally as it should have been.
Okay.
Sometimes it goes for the sort of easy joke, but it's still worth seeing. It's George Clooney. He's wonderful. Adam Sandler. I mean, there's some wonderful people in it, but yeah, I'm voting for Springsteen.
Okay. Our
What's next?
last our last round of our last matchup of the wild card round, the battle of the 30 seeds. The winner here will be taking on Hamnet. So we have different visualizations of a woman's journey. And this is another case in which this is kind of going to be all you because we have Little Amelie or the character of Rain versus the Testament of Anne Lee. And we both watched
Interesting.
Little Amelie today, and you watched The Testament of Anne Lee.
Yeah. Interesting pairing. Interesting. A Testament of Anne Lee is a musical, though the music focuses on music from that time period. It's about the person who's the founder of the Shakers, that religious sect, and what she goes through in her persecution. And Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, it focuses on this toddler, but starts from before she's born.
Yeah.
And she's in the universe, and she believes she's God. And it's based on a book, I gather.
Oh,
it's based, yeah, I think it's based on a book. Oh man, this is tough. This is really tough. And Little Emily was nominated for Best Animated Feature.
Yes, it won several awards in various film festivals, which we would love to get into.
And The Testament of Anne Lee was nominated for a Globe. Did it win anything?
No, Amanda Seyfried was nominated for both the Globe and the Critics' Choice Award.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal acting performance by her. Oh man, this is really hard. Tell me your feelings about Little Amelie, that one you've seen.
That one I've seen. I mean, it spoke to me, not as much as Arco. I'll say
Right.
that, because I watched both of them today. But it did very much speak to me, the visual metaphors of seeing the gray elements of life. The fact that it was dealing with some heavy stuff. You're dealing with post World War II Japan, and characters who are at each other over that. And there's a lot of like discussions about like learning about death for the first time.
Yeah.
So, but it's told in this very visual way, and I felt that to be very fascinating.
It had more of an emotional impact on me. And as you know, I tend to prefer live action to animation, but Little Amelie had more of an emotional connection for me than The Testament of Anne Lee. So
that's a major lift for you to say that about animation.
Yeah, it really is, because I tend to prefer, the actor's face and what they convey than the animation. The Testament of Anne Lee is a tough movie to connect with because of who these characters are and their religious beliefs. On the one hand, they're very forward thinking. The Shakers come to the United States, they form their community, they believe in equal rights, they're against slavery, they believe in equal rights for women. It was hard to emotionally connect with. There was a distance for me between me and the film. I can't quite, and maybe it's because I have a sort of antipathy to religious fanaticism of any kind. So yeah.
But that was almost a case of like, that I liked about Little Amelie is that like, it almost gives you religious metaphors, but from a kid's and metaphysical perspective, which is how I see spirituality.
Yes,
and it's like a very, very Eastern and very. It's like the Amelie thinks she's God in the beginning,
right?
But like she really just like doesn't want to talk. It's like I found all those parallels.
Right.
Very well.
I think I'm voting for Little Amelie.
Go for it. The very fact that like animated movies emotionally connecting with you, that should speak
yes.
in and of itself.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
What's next?
That completes the wild card round. So now we have a filled out bracket for the round of 32. Now we see if our lovely little wild card winners have any shot in hell against some of the higher seeds. But as anyone following March Madness or various sports tournaments can attest to, crazy things can happen. So let us see if those crazy things happen. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. Then let's kick it off right off the bat with our. And remember, now that we're into the round of 32, we're doing this based on as if it were a best of 7.
Right.
So we're saying, would this movie sweep the other? Would it be 4-1? Would it be 4-2 or 4-3?
Gotcha.
And I'm saying that because we're starting right off the bat with the favorite, one battle after another, versus the 32 seed Black Bag.
Yeah, I'm going with one battle. I liked Black Bag a lot, but it doesn't.
Yeah, like Black Bag is a very straightforward, well written, very good dialogue, but it's straightforward political thriller. One battle after another is almost somewhat a non-traditional political thriller, but that's I think what keeps it interesting. And
yes,
like you do emotionally connect with.
Yes, you really do. So in this case, the number 32 seed cannot knock off the number 1, and I think it's a sweep.
Really, I think Black Bag could maybe get one win off it based off of the crisp strength of its dialogue.
The crisp strength of the dialogue,
and that like it was nominated for a Writers Guild Award, and I think you often see that. But like this would be a gentleman's sweep. This would be one battle after another, winning 4-1. I think
4-1. Okay, I'll go for 4-1. All right. What's next? What's up next?
Next, we have the 17 seed versus the 16 seed, the duel of movies of upsetting subject matter. And we have a documentary versus a narrative film. We have The Voice of Hindra Job versus the winner for Best Documentary Feature, Mr. Nobody Against Putin. In a roundabout way, both true stories, because The Voice of Hindra Job is collated from real audio of the child who was stuck in a car in the middle of Gaza, and as the emergency response department tries to excavate her, and Mr. Nobody Against Putin, which is a documentary, real story, real footage collected by a real guy, trying to do what he can against the Russian government after the invasion of Ukraine. And this is like, that's what you get with the 17 seed versus the 16 seed. That's right
hard
up.
To choose.
It's hard to choose. They're right up against each other. They're both upsetting in different ways. They're both important in different ways.
Now I didn't see the first one, The Voice of, so.
But you know what happened.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Because it's like after what happened to this little girl, this is actually like the spark that led the Columbia protesters to take that hall in 2024.
Two very evenly matched teams.
Very, very
evenly matched. It's going to be 4-3. Whoever wins, it's going to be a 7-game. I'm going to go with Mr. Nobody versus Putin, but
I will as well buy a nose.
Okay.
Because it's like I think this is in many a case in terms of probably some of the voters in the documentary feature category is like when there's a full-on tie, it's like you think about the fact that like Mr. Pasha is literally risking his life to
get this story out.
To get this story out, and like just it's like it gives it that like slightest, get that extra rebound in
Right.
Game 7 kind of thing.
Right.
But that's really not to take away. Like, it's probably good you didn't watch Henry Jaw because it is very upsetting because it's about a kid and like all that stuff. But I would almost it's almost required viewing for anyone who like has a heart. But Mr. Nobody is also required viewing for anyone who's concerned about democracy. So that's why they're so evenly matched.
Yeah. All right. 4-3.
4-3.
7-game series. But by a nose, Mr. Nobody. Yeah. All right. Who's up next?
Now we get to a case where we'll see what the lower seed can do. We have a battle of musicals with the 9 seed versus the 24 seed, K-pop Demon Hunters versus Wicked for Good, which is the first film off of the nominated for major Oscars placing. It was the only one of the wild cards that didn't have to go through the wild card round. Wicked for Good as the 24 seed. Going up against the 9 seed, K-pop Demon Hunters is the 9 seed because it won 2 Oscars.
Yes.
And actually somewhat similar movies too.
I mean, I like them both a lot. Wicked for Good, I didn't think was as good as the first movie, part 1, mainly because I think the songs are stronger in part 1. But phenomenal acting from the two leads. And I'm going to give throw it to Wicked for Good just because it's the live action versus the animation.
Well, it's interesting because when you said that, K-pop has better music, and it again, like, this isn't Wicked 1 in that sense, like Wicked 1's story and K-pop story are more aligned. It's sort of, you have an outsiderish person finding her voice, basically, against a malicious system. Wicked 2 is more complicated because it's the aftermath of that. But
Wicked for Good has one spectacular song, Because I Knew You. That song.
I think it has one spectacular song, which is No Good Deed Goes Unpunished.
Well, that's true too. But that song between the two of them, I'm for the better Because I Knew You. So while some of the other songs in the part 2 are not as strong as part 1, that song is spectacular.
And like, I do agree, because it's like the evil in K-pop is just an evil entity.
Right.
The evil in Wicked is a very sadly realistic regime.
Right.
And I think, like, that is the element that for me pushes it over, even though the strength of K-pop's music and the accessibility of its story, I think this would be a 6-game series.
Yes, I do too. I do too. But I would still give it to Wicked for Good. All right. Gotcha. All right.
Now we get to 25 seed versus the 8 seed. And
such a tough choice.
This is like 2 versions of pulling yourself up from the bottom and getting back to the top, and different portrayals of masculinity. In our aforementioned No Other Choice versus Best Sound winner F1.
Damn. No Other Choice versus F1. Wow. Damn. This is hard. This is hard. Do I want to go for the quirky, twisted story or this straightforward, well-made 3-act story with an uplifting ending?
Right. It's like F1 leaves you a better feeling in your
it gives you a better feeling.
But like No Other Choice is probably a more deeper movie.
But twisted.
But very twisted.
Well, in a year of very twisted, sad, tragic movies, F1 stood out because it was just a great story, well done with an uplifting ending. So it's very tough. This is a very tough call. This is a 4
This
to 3.
also feels like a 7-game series.
This is a 7-game series, but I think I would vote for F1.
Same, because of like I really feel like you can't put a price on like movies that well-made ones. We're not talking about like scrubs, but like well-made movies that leave you with a better feeling after leaving the viewing. And it is really, really close, but in the case of like, are we going to go optimistic or pessimistic? I kind of would rather go optimistic.
I agree. I agree. F1 in a 7-game series, 4 to 3. All right, keep going.
Next up, we have two very different portrayals of Stranger in a Strange Land, in which we have the 5 seed Secret Agent versus the newly crowned 28 seed Arco.
Oh man, and we just talked about Arco, so A Secret Agent was not my favorite movie of the year, but I did appreciate what it was about. Brazilian movie. It was up for both Best Picture and Best International Film.
And Best Actor.
And Best Actor, that's right.
Contender for all of them. Like
right.
Dark horse contender, but contender for all of them, hence it being the 5 seed.
So, and an important story to tell about how you deal and survive when you are living under a fascist military dictatorship. I think I'm voting for Secret Agent.
And like, it's again that case of like, I think Secret Agent is the more important movie right now. At the same time, Arco is one of like 4 movies that made me cry. And like, I almost lean a case of like wanting to be optimistic in that Ghibli way and give Arco the upset. Even though I also fundamentally like respected Secret Agent, and especially in the middle of the film when it's about again trying to survive when you're underneath that kind of regime. Though he doesn't survive.
He doesn't survive.
So we're not giving a shit about spoilers.
I have to be more careful about spoilers, but you know, it's. I would not object if you want to go with Arco.
In part because I do think that's why I'm tied, because I do think there are other movies out there about living in that kind of regime that are actually stronger than Secret Agent, but the middle of that film is really, really strong.
It
I don't want
is.
to take away from that.
It is. You just don't connect with it emotionally as much as, say, with Arco. I didn't. Um, Also, there were moments in Secret Agent, it was kind of confusing what was going on and the relationships between the people. Again, I tend to give extra points for live action versus animation, but since you connected with Arco emotionally, if you want to go with Arco, it would be a big upset. It's the 28 seed versus the 5 seed, but I wouldn't object to that.
Because it's showing a version of our better angels in a way, and that emotional connection.
Yes. Now,
It would be 4-3.
It would be 4-3, but it's a big upset. So here's an upset in the brackets. All right. Arco knocks off the 5 seed.
And here we go to what I think is the strongest film about living in a totalitarian regime, which is two of them really, because we have 22,000 meters to Andreevka, which is it's almost like taking this Ukraine war and turning into Saving Private Ryan almost. It's a documentary, but it feels like it could be a full-on movie against It Was Just an Accident, which I think is the movie that's the strongest one about living in a fascist state, because it is asking a moral question for every single one of us.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't seen the 2,000 meters. I did watch the trailer.
It's by the same team that did 20 Days to Mariupol, which won Best Documentary 2 years ago.
It Was Just an Accident. It is not a documentary, it's a narrative film, but it poses the question, which is a real moral question about revenge.
Yep.
And
is a question for all the little people living in a regime like that.
Yes. Yes. So you have this group of people who had been tortured by this the jailer, I don't know what to call him.
Some kind of
but I haven't seen 2,000 meters, so it's hard for me to say. I mean, I would vote for It Was Just an Accident is a small film with a small cast. And at first glance, it doesn't seem like it's going to be substantial. It's set, where is it set again? Do you remember? Iran, which is ironic for the moment. But in the end, it carries a great import.
Yeah. And it's like, and I think 2,000 meters to Andreevka carries a great import too, because it's showing you these individual people who are giving so much for their country, and it's also showing how the outside world starts to justify itself as to why they're failing. So it's like you have in these times you have one side that's like the soldiers on the front lines fighting for their democracy, and then you have the little people over here and the moral question of revenge. If you or I encountered someone amidst that, or at least you think you do.
Right.
And I think that does put it over the top. For me, this would be like a 6-game series for It Was Just an Accident. But I would suggest that everyone watch 2,000 Meters to Andreevka. It's on PBS. You can watch it for free. And it's because there's a line in the film where one of the filmmakers is like, I just don't know if the world will keep caring about our war. Watch the film to at least show that you still do.
Pay homage to that,
even though It Was Just an Accident is one of the more underrated strong films of the year, I think.
And was nominated for Best International.
International and Best Screenplay.
And Best Screenplay. I don't know. I have to defer to you because I haven't seen the documentary.
6-game series.
Or it was just an accident?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But now we get to a case where we're going to defer to you because we have...
I've seen both of them. Yeah.
Both of them. We have the 13 seed versus the 20 seed in a duel of artists and longevity, artistry with your muse, if you will, and powerhouse acting performances. We have Blue Moon versus Song Sung Blue.
Two very strong movies. Blue Moon, Ethan Hawke was nominated for Best Actor, and in Song Sung Blue, Kate Hudson was nominated for Best Actress. A lot of people thought Ethan Hawke maybe should have won.
A lot of people that we talked to, like more than like I almost expected, because even though like we said that, it's like that's like almost like everyone we talked to. Almost.
I know who has seen the movie.
Yeah.
Song Sung Blue is a somewhat traditionally told story about these two people who meet and come together and form this cover band and fall in love. It doesn't go smoothly. It's based on a true story, so they follow the true story of the bumps in the road for this couple. It's a very good movie. But I think I would give it to Blue Moon mainly because of Ethan Hawke's performance. He is in every scene. There is so much dialogue. He is capturing Loren's heart at a moment in his life where, because of his alcoholism, everything is slipping away. The dialogue is very clever and well written. So as much as I like Song Sung Blue, and I did, this is a very tough call between these two. There's a lot to both of them about being a musician, being an artist, and what that art, it's not just about fame, it's what it does for the artist.
Yeah.
But in a very close 4-3, I would give the edge to Blue Moon just because of the difficulty of Ethan Hawke's performance and the part he's playing.
Right on.
Yeah, you're okay with that?
No, I'm fundamentally okay with that because, like, it, especially as an artist dealing with various life issues and whatnot, like that movie, like, spoke to me even just personally, and like the fact that it's in real time and he's basically on screen every minute almost,
right?
Is like it like really sticks with you.
Yes. So, all right, Blue Moon in a 4-3 battle.
And we continue on with our newly crowned 29 seed versus one of the favorites, the 4 seed Sentimental Value, in a deconstruction of dealing with trauma as a woman.
Both of these movies approach the subject in very original, emotional, and unique ways. But Sentimental Value is a real heavyweight.
It's a real heavy hitter.
It's a real heavy hitter. And as much as I liked Sorry Baby, Sentimental Value could have won Best Picture. Yep. It is that good. It's the number 4 seed. I don't think it's a sweep, because Sorry Baby has a lot to it. But in this case, the 29 seed could not knock off the number 4 seed.
It's like, I think maybe it gets one game for the delicacy of how it tackles the and that threading of the line of humor, authenticity, realism.
Yes.
Even though it's like it's between it would be between two of those sports teams. It's like both of them kind of do the same thing very well, and sentimental value has more
Has
almost.
more. Yes.
So like I'm okay with it being 4-1.
Yes, I am too. All righty, now we go to the other side
Side of the bracket
of the
with
bracket.
different ways in which the relationship we have to music, which is our 2 seed Sinners versus the 31 seed The Ballad of Wallace Island.
You know, and it's funny because the Ballad of Wallace Island was more enjoyable to watch than Sinners, because Sinners has so much in it that's painful and really painful. But it's also a heavy hitter. And I guess for me, I mean, Michael B. Jordan plays 3 different parts in that movie. So
Basically.
part of it is the power of his performance. As you know, I'm not crazy about vampire storylines, vampire zombies, not my favorite
But like
thing.
contrastingly to what we were saying about Secret Agent, I think in Sinners you really do emotionally connect with the characters. That's why
Yes,
that's why it's painful in the
that's
second
why it's
half.
painful. It's painful to watch what they go through. And especially because these are African Americans at a time when of Jim Crow, and you know, they have enough problems in their life. Now you got to deal with vampires. I mean, come on. But yeah, in this case, I don't think the 31 seed can knock off the number 2 seed.
It's I honestly think that Ballad of Wallace Island could take 2 games off of Sinners.
I can take 2. Okay.
Because I think
so it's a 4-2.
Like because it goes in directions you don't expect, and
it
doesn't have like neat and tied in a bow and any of that stuff. And it's a case of like if you enjoyed the first hour of Sinners, in which they were all reacquainting with each other for the first time in all these years and playing music and everyone's happy, and you liked that part before it changed, go watch Ballad of Wallace Island, because that's more of that.
Yes. I agree.
But and that maybe Ballad of Wallace Island gets one of those like, you know, crazy game winners in like another game or whatever. But it's like 4-3, 4-2 being generous.
I can see 4-2. I can see it being 4-2. I'm okay with it. All right, next up in the bracket,
we get to small town horror versus a horror movie. See what I did there? Because we have The Perfect Neighbor, the 18 seed, versus Weapons, the 15 seed. How do you want your tales of crazy older white ladies terrorizing a neighborhood? How do you want it? Do you want it realistic in a documentary, or do you want it in a metaphor in a horror movie? How do you want your onions?
Well, they're both good, and Amy Madigan won Best Supporting Actress for Weapons, rightfully deserved. And Weapons is a really, and horror is not my favorite genre either. It's a very unique story in the way it approaches the horror, and it is horrifying. But The Perfect Neighbor as a documentary, because it uses the body camera footage from the police, and the entire story is told that way, about this The Perfect Neighbor is an ironic title, and I don't want to give anything away with this one. And he
gave away the ending to Secret Agent. I thought we're not really caring.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I shouldn't have spoiled that one either. People should watch The Perfect Neighbor. It's an extremely unique documentary. You don't often, as a documentary filmmaker, have access to police body cam footage. They had the access because it had been used in the court case, and therefore was in the public domain. It is assembled really well.
Yeah, so
The story
it's
is told
astonishing in
well.
how it's assembled. That makes it.
Yes,
It's like it's a document. It's like I feel like we say that a lot about the documentaries that are here,
right.
but it could be a feature, and it's
Yes, could be
like
a narrative story.
right because you have like you didn't watch any of those horror movies like I forget the name of it in which they're like out in the woods and whatnot, and it's
No,
all like point of view footage, and it's like
no, I
you're
didn't
being
watch any of
terrorized. It's
those.
like you people do that to make narrative horror
Right.
movies. So the fact that that's what all this is, and that we'll talk more about this because I agree with you. As much as I enjoyed Weapons,
Yeah.
um, I like the different perspectives. I liked how it crisscrosses across the same moments of time.
Yes, that was a really
And
unique way to tell the story.
yes, and I thought the characterization was very well done. Even it was one of those cases where I did think the ending was a little neat, and I think
Hmm.
with Perfect Neighbor it is very much the opposite of neat.
Very much the opposite.
And
Yes.
it like it leaves you thinking, but strangely enough, in contrasting to some of the other movies here, it doesn't leave you emotionally hollow. It
Mm.
just leaves you thinking.
Leaves you
Um,
thinking.
it's like we're about to get to the category of movies that got you. So the Perfect Neighbor does that, but not in a way that feels like you're being brutalized.
Right.
It's like you don't want to turn off the movie in
No,
Perfect
you
Neighbor.
cannot look
It's one of
away.
those things.
So what, a 4-2?
4-2.
Four
I
to
think it would
two.
be 4-2
Okay.
in a minor upset. Um, this isn't documentary favoritism.
No.
It's go out and watch that movie.
Yes.
Um, as we now go to the aforementioned category of movies that brutalize you, because we have the 10 seed Train Dreams versus the 23 seed Surratt in and metaphors of older men dealing with the changing world and trying to find your way in the wilderness and ripping the audience's hearts out midway through the movie.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah. You know,
yep,
it's
yep. What are you gonna do?
Surratt was up for best foreign film, and Train Dreams was up for best picture.
Train
Um,
Dreams was up for Best Picture and was a heavy contender for Best Cinematography.
best
Like
cinema, and I believe is based on a book.
on a bug, yes.
Um, they're both just devastatingly
Yep.
sad. Both of them. It's like I don't know which one was sadder, which one was more. Uh, I don't know. Do we have to pick either of them?
We have to pick one of them. That's why they're set against each other because they're so similar.
Damn it. Damn. No.
I mean, like for me, it's one of those cases of like, um, I would lean Train Dreams, and I'll explain why.
Okay, I was thinking the same
Because
thing.
as devastating as it is, it not going to say telegraphs what it's about to do, but you can kind of
Yeah,
it's like you can kind of feel something coming.
yeah,
Whereas Surratt is a complete shock and like
yes.
and does more of it. It's like uh and Train Dreams tries to make sense of what's happening, whereas Surratt, I don't know if there's any
I
like
don't think
because like Train Dreams has gorgeous cinematography and it's upsetting, but at least it's beautiful to look at.
that's what I was thinking. I was going to give the edge to Train Dreams just for that reason,
Right.
because the cinematography is so beautiful. But
It's like I was reading an interview about the director of Surratt that he wants to make a movie that is talked about 20 years from now. And I think he's actually right. I think this is a movie that's going to have a lot of staying power in Surratt, but right now at this time, that's really hard to watch, given
Yeah.
how much pessimism there is in the universe. And at
Yes.
least Train Dreams is trying to not hold your hand, but it's trying to, like, it's more existential than mean, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to recommend either of these movies because they're both so sad. But if I'm going to pick one, I'll go with the one with the beautiful
Yeah.
cinematography, and that's Train Dreams.
I would say this would be another 4-2.
Another 4-2. Gotcha. All right. Moving on.
Moving on to dehumanization and bigger fish bullying the smaller fish, in which the smaller fish vaguely has, not vaguely, but fairly clearly has unspoken and hidden humanity beneath the surface, in which we have the Alabama solution versus Frankenstein, the 26 seed versus the 7 seed.
Well, for me, there's no contest here because I was very moved by Frankenstein. I felt Jacob Elordi should have won Best Actor for that
Supporting.
performance for the
He
creature.
did. He won the Critics' Choice.
He did win the Critics' Choice.
So
Okay.
He has one of
them. Yeah, my vote goes to Frankenstein.
And it's a similar thing for me, like I just said about Train Dreams, is like,
yeah.
Like I was able to stomach Alabama Solution more, and I got behind an aspect of it as we approach the second half. It has a focus on at least some solutions-based elements. But if I'm going to watch a movie about characters being dehumanized, I'd rather it be a movie that's gorgeous to look at, which Frankenstein is. And like the retelling of the story set in the late 1800s, where we're going to be talking about this in our TV show video, it's like it has that one step removed element, which feels like it's the medicine goes down easier.
Yes.
With it.
Absolutely. And so in what's the 4-2?
Or 1 or 4-2.
Let's make it 4-2. Alice found Supreme Solution won 2 games.
It's 4-2s in a row.
Yes. Next up.
The battle of genius men and what you do with it. The 6 seed, Marty Supreme, versus the newly crowned 27 seed, Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere.
Well, I think the choice is a little harder for you because you liked Marty Supreme more than I did. I cast my vote for the 27 seed here, Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. But like I said, a little harder for you. So I'm curious what your thoughts are.
It's one of those cases where, again, I enjoyed Marty Supreme, especially because I felt like it was a metaphor for America. And it's like you have this genius, but if you're not careful, you can use that genius to justify stepping on people, and being a bad person, basically. And like, I mean, I was able to decouple some of like Chalamet's extracurricular stuff from the performance, which I think is very, very good.
Oh, it is. There's no question.
Like there really is no question about it. It might be the best performance of his career. It's like it's hard, sort of, because there's more in it than Dylan. Like Dylan is over here. He's an enigma in the movie, whereas like you feel the full brunt of Marty's Martiness. But like, and I don't say this even as like a Springsteen fan, but like you see the edge in Springsteen's character
Mhm.
too.
Yes.
And it shows you what you need to do. It's like similar to Marty. He has close friends that are trying to help him, and he doesn't listen
Mhm.
to any of them.
Right. Right.
He's going to do it his way, and he doesn't give a shit.
Right.
And whereas Springsteen, he has the genius. He knows that, and he needs to do this his way to tell this
Mhm.
story. And I forget Landau, the agent,
Right.
keeps saying it's
John
like
Landau.
he needs to do this for some sort of a emotional element, but it still takes in feedback from his
Mhm.
inner circle because he knows he's drifting down the bad path.
Mhm.
And it's like this is close. This is probably closer for me than you. This would be
Mhm.
4-3, but it's like I felt better. The ending left me feeling better in Springsteen versus Marty,
Mhm.
and like, and then it's just going to split because because they both win, right?
Mhm.
But in the case of like Marty, I wasn't sure if he deserved it. Like
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
it's like I didn't know how to feel about that.
Mhm.
Whereas like the Springsteen movie, I felt like you just watch someone basically go through hell and come out the other
And
side.
come out the other side. That you can have genius and be an artist and maintain your humanity. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm fine with it being 4-3 though,
yeah.
and going with Springsteen. All right.
Uh,
Next up.
Next up, we have Battle of Sci-Fi Movies. We have the 22 seed Avatar Fire and Ash versus the 11 seed Begonia. Now, you haven't seen the Avatar Fire and Ash, but you have seen Avatar 1 and Avatar Way of
I
Water.
have.
So like like the vibe that we're
And I
going with.
watched the trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash and I tried to read the plot. The plot was so convoluted that just reading it on Wikipedia, I got lost. Um, but I liked Begonia a lot. So, yeah, for Begonia is a twisted story, but yeah, I don't know. I really liked Begonia a lot, and I liked Emma Stone in it. So for me, it's not a close call. I go with
I
Begonia.
don't think it's a close call for me either because as great as the effects are in Avatar 3, it's like Avatar 1 gets dunked on for being Pocahontas with blue people, but I think that's fine because the
Hmm.
archetypal story remains powerful to this
Right,
day.
right. I
And
agree.
Avatar 2 really narrows the focus on being a family story. And I
Hmm.
think it expands the world but doesn't spread itself too thin. And it isn't as traditional as Avatar 1, but that makes it good. Whereas
Hmm.
Avatar 3 doesn't do either of those things. It's like too chaotic to
So
be as
chaotic.
archetypal as Avatar 1, but doesn't have the same emotional power as Avatar 2. And it's like I really didn't know how to feel coming out of that movie. So it's like if you watch one sci-fi movie like like watch Begonia.
Watch
It's
Begonia.
yeah.
Begonia has just a major twist in it towards the end, which your jaw will drop to the floor. And Emma Stone gives a performance for the ages. So, is it better than Poor Things? I can't go that far and say, but in some ways, I don't know. Poor Things was an amazing performance, also. But yeah, no, this hands down, I vote for Begonia.
Yeah. It's
I
like
I don't know what the score should be.
maybe 4-1. Like
Yeah, I think
it
either 4-0 or four
it
one.
could be 4-0,
I think
but
it
it's
is
like
4-0. Maybe give it 4-1 for the special effects in Avatar.
It did win the Academy Award for visual
It
effects.
did.
Give it 1, wins
Okay.
4-1.
Just for the visual effects. We'll give you 1. Okay, next up.
The 14 seed versus the 19 seed. And this is all you, well, kind of all you, but we have If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You versus My Mom Jane, which won the Producers Guild Award for Best Documentary, so we don't really know why it wasn't nominated for Best Documentary Feature.
I don't know why it wasn't. I was shocked that it wasn't, because I think it fit all the criteria. I think it was at a major film festival. It had a small theatrical release. I don't know why it wasn't nominated. I really don't. It's a beautiful documentary. And at first glance, you think it's just a celebrity, Mariska Hargitay doing a story about her mother, Jane Mansfield. Your generation don't know who she is. She was a very big movie star, dies in a tragic car accident when Mariska Hargitay was a toddler. So she doesn't really remember her. And the documentary is this exploration to understand who she is and her family, and has a huge twist in it, which I don't want to give anything away.
Because I haven't seen it yet.
Beautiful documentary, very emotional, made me cry. And Mariska Hargitay also is a producer of it. So If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You. Rose Byrne was nominated for Best Actress. I did not watch the whole thing. It was painfully sad. I had difficulty getting past the first half hour of it. But that one you did watch all the way through.
I did watch all the way through, and it's like, that's why I have it paired with My Mom Jane, because it's like when you describing it feels like it's also a story of, dealing with both ghosts of your past and trying to both, manage chaos.
Yes.
And like I think If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is a worthwhile movie, but it's like it didn't.
Because there's so much in My Mom Jane. Jane Mansfield, to become a successful actress, had to play this ditzy blonde. She wasn't. She spoke multiple languages. She was a concert, I believe, pianist. She was an amazingly accomplished, smart woman, but to get work, this is what she had to do. And that is something that had this impact on her children, because she was one person at home. Then they would see her films. They didn't know who that person was. But that's a lot of what women had to do in that time period. So it's a family story. It's a story about women's journeys. It's a really beautiful, beautiful documentary. I was sure it was going to be nominated in Best Documentary category for Academy Awards. I really don't know why it wasn't. Not taking anything away from the other documentaries, they only could nominate 4. So in this category, for me, I definitely give it to My Mom Jane.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what the score is, but
it has to be your score, because you're the one
my score. Based on Rose Byrne's performance, how about 4-2?
Okay.
Okay.
And because I do think, like, I like that in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, there's a lot of shots that make you feel like you're in her mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, there is more to the movie than Rose Byrne's performance. And it is an interesting psychological study. But, like, it's like, based on your description, it feels like My Mom Jane is more moving.
Yes. Very, very moving. And I think anybody can watch it and will really connect with the story. It's about it's really about family, about dysfunctional families, about a lot of love despite the dysfunction, and how one navigates in that, in the impact it has in your own life. So it's a documentary, and it's on streaming. I can't remember which platform it's on, but you can catch it on
Yeah,
streaming.
it's
All
it's
right,
on Mac.
last
Yeah,
one for
yeah,
now in these brackets.
yeah. The last one in the round of 32 is newly crowned 30 seed versus the 3 seed Little Emily, or the character of Rain, versus Hamnet, and it's kind of asking the question of dealing with mortality, really.
Dealing with
And
more, yeah,
and it's also interesting that, like, because there's the part in the middle of Hamlet where you do see life from Hamlet's perspective,
right.
and it's like, as I was watching Little Emily, it's like I was like, oh, this, it's like, it's even the moment when she says, oh, it's like grandma brought me back to life,
Mm-hmm.
but then she had to be taken by death. Does that mean she traded places? And it's like
Ah,
that's exactly the kind of thinking that Hamnet is doing.
yes.
Uh,
I mean, for me, the number 30 seed isn't going to knock off the number 3 seed here. Hands down, it's going to be Hamnet, not taking anything away from the Little Emily movie. It's just Hamnet, primarily because of Jessie Buckley's performance, but not only because of that. Uh, the concept of the artist processing loss and his life and it going into his art. There's just so much to Hamnet. I loved
yes,
the
there
score.
is.
It was my
It's like
favorite
I
score
love
also.
the visual symbolism of showing processing death
Yes,
through visuals
yes,
in Little Emily, which I think any of us might
right.
do sometimes. But like Hamnet, it's like it is, might be the most emotional movie out there. So it's
Yes.
like it is like
Not easy to watch, but a beautiful
a
movie.
beautiful movie.
Beautiful movie. So what do you think the score is? Another
Four,
4-2?
4-2. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right. We are now down. We've gone from 32 to,
We now enter the Sweet 16,
yes.
as Marsh Madness would like to say, and we had a couple of we had 3 seeds in the 20s make it into the Sweet 16.
We did. Some upsets. We have some
Yeah.
upsets.
A couple of documentaries, 1 animated film, a few blockbusters, a few upsets. So let's keep trucking on. None of the
Okay.
major seeds are gone.
No.
The direct dark horse contenders in Secret Agent and Marty Supreme are gone.
Yes, that's true.
But the 4 heavy hitters are still around.
The top 4 seats are still there. Yes.
So let's see what happens.
All right, take it away.
Take it away. We kick off the Sweet 16 with the favorite, the 1 seed, one battle after another, versus Mr. Nobody Against Putin, tackling deep socio-political issues. And
Both
the Best
of them.
Picture winner versus the Best Documentary Feature winner. Maybe not 100% fair for one battle to have to go after the Best Documentary Feature winner.
I know.
But like that, people don't see documentaries as high seeds, so that's how it ended up down here.
Damn.
Well, Sinners is going to have to go after the other documentary. So
you're right.
You know,
that's absolutely.
I didn't
right.
actually plan that. That's actually interesting.
It is interesting. It's a very tough call. I think, documentaries are dear to my heart, but I think I give the edge to One Battle because so much of the direction in One Battle is, like you had said, the scene, the car chase scene where you see the car going up and down in the hills. And then, of course, the very end with what happens to Sean Penn.
But see,
It's
I
a
give it
tough
to One
call.
Battle because of the ending.
Oh, because of the
Because,
ending. Okay,
like,
because it has a
talk
more
about it
uplifting.
in the sea of depressing movies.
Yeah,
Somehow, One Battle leaves you with the sense that maybe it can get better,
right.
tinily and slowly, but like
You were saying about One Battle.
no, just in this the sea of depressing movies, like One Battle leaves you with the sense that maybe it can get better, like a
Yes,
teeny bit.
right.
Um, and like it's going to take a while, and maybe the wins you have will just be on your ground, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe the next generation can pick up the torch and do it better, maybe.
Yeah.
And like that, not to take anything away from Mr. Nobody, and I think especially right now, because I think there is a sentiment that I've seen of treating all Russians as a monolith, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like that they're all bad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that's not true. It's like there are a lot of people out there like Pasha who are trying to
Right.
to do the right thing, and I think it very much deserved to win Best Documentary Feature.
Oh, absolutely.
Um, but
But I think in this matchup, I'd still give the edge to the narrative film,
yeah,
to One Battle.
and I think it would
Yes,
be like 4-2. I'd say
4-2. Okay. One Battle wins that matchup, so the number one seed is still in it.
still in there. Had to sweat a little bit more, as opposed to Black Bag.
Right,
Mr.
that's
Nobody
true.
got 2 games off of him. But now we get into the Battle of the Blockbusters. They're the only 2 blockbusters left in there.
I
Yeah,
think
pretty much. So this is the Battle of the Blockbusters in Wicked for Good, the upset winning 24 seed versus F1, the 8 seed. Uh,
Well, as much as I really liked Wicked for Good, and I did, and I love musicals, um, I think F1's the better movie.
yeah, it's like if this were Wicked 1, it would win.
It would
Like,
win, yes.
it's like, and
Yes,
Wicked
hands
1 would win
down.
against a lot of movies in this field.
Yes.
And I think Wicked for Good should have been nominated for at least, if not Best Picture, then Ariana as Best Supporting.
Yes.
Or and it did. It got nominated for a lot of Guild Awards. That's why it was
Oh,
the
it did.
24 seed, the
Good.
highest of like the non-Oscar ranked movies. Um, but it's like F1 is a better put together movie
Yes.
from a macro story structure perspective. Um, and I mean, I think F1 would have beaten K-pop as well if
Yes, I
K-pop had,
think so. If K-pop had beaten Wicked for Good, I agree with you.
the other blockbuster, and like it's like that's why I was nominated for Best Picture. It's like
Yes.
sometimes a good old fashioned, well meaning, well put together blockbuster does its job, and that is
Does
the
its
better.
job. Sometimes popcorn movies are
Yes.
really worthwhile, and this
Yep.
was one of them. All right, what's the score on it, do you think?
Either 4-1 or 2. I'm not sure which one.
Let's give it 2. Let's give
Yeah,
Wicked
let's give
2
it 2.
games. 4-2. Now, Argo versus It Was Just an Accident. Interesting matchup.
Interesting matchup, and in a roundabout way does answer questions about, because the sort of societal conflict in Arco is very amorphous. They don't really tell you what it is.
Well,
But
also the environmental issues.
like the environmental issues, exactly. But it's the focus is very much on the individual and what are you going to do? And similar to It Was Just an Accident, it's asking, it's a it's a question to our better angels. Both movies leave you very deeply emotional And it's like, having watched them all at this point, I almost wish Arco had won Best Animated Feature. Not to take anything away from K-pop, but it's like it left me that emotional. At the same time, I think It Was Just an Accident is a very special movie.
I do too. And I always, for an animated one to win over a live action, it is harder for me to give it to the animated one.
It's like Arco can win over Secret Agent because I think you connect with Arco more, but It Was Just an Accident asked that question of living in that regime stronger.
Right.
And I think you do emotionally connect more. And how it's put together, like he had to smuggle footage out of Iran.
Right.
To get it made. And like, it's like Arco can definitely give it a run. I think it can definitely take 2 games, I'd say.
I think so.
It Was Just an Accident is stronger. There's more in it.
Alrighty. Blue Moon up against Sentimental Value.
That's a tough one.
This is a tough one. It's an interesting matchup. Really
both about art
matchup.
And how art can heal, hurt you, lingering trauma across years, resentments. And yeah, like Blue Moon is the seed right off of like all of like the multiple Oscar winners and Best Pictures because it should have been nominated for Best Picture.
It should have.
It's that good. Sentimental Value is a major heavy hitter.
A major heavy hitter and one of my favorite movies of the year. So as much as I liked Blue Moon and I liked Ethan Hawke's performance a lot, Sentimental Value is a really special film about family, about art, about trauma, about how we heal. And I would give the edge to Sentimental Value.
So would I. I think it's a 7-game series. I actually do.
It's a 4-3
because it's like the depth of the writing, the depth of the performance,
right?
The fact that it's in real time, the questions it's asking, like 6 or 7 different levels about art.
Yeah,
and it can do different things because Blue Moon, that is, because it's like the main character is older, whereas the main character in Sentimental Value is younger. But it's like it'd be one of those cases where Game 7 ends up not being close because when you really get down to it, Sentimental Value does have more, but
it leaves you on an up note and inspiring,
without being saccharine or false or anything.
Exactly.
But
in a close 4-3 series.
But in the macro sense, it is a close series.
Yes. All righty. Let's go over here to the other side of the bracket. Now it is number 2 seed Sinners against Perfect Neighbor.
I get the runner-up for Best Picture versus the runner-up for Best Documentary.
Wow.
Asking #racism, basically.
Yes. You're right.
Basically.
We didn't even organize that, but it ended up that way.
But because it was there in case Weapons won, and then Sinners is going up against a horror movie. So, but instead you're asking, but what if racism, basically?
Damn. I don't know with this matchup. I mean, I always tend to give a little bit of an edge to the narrative film. But Perfect Neighbor, in many ways, does a better job of revealing the depth of sort of
all of
unconscious
the layers
racism. Yes, all the layers of racism and how people delude themselves into thinking they're not racist. I don't know this. I feel bad about the second seed, though.
It's one of those cases where I think the only thing that saves Sinners is the last line of the movie, which is, it's like I have nightmares about that night all the time, but before that, I think it was the best day of my life.
Yes.
Mine too. We were free, and I feel like that is the Black experience in like 2 lines, almost, and it puts the entire movie in context. Before then, I wasn't sure how I felt about it because like it is sad in the second half.
So sad.
And
so sad.
And it's like it isn't a case of like Get Out where it like kind of at least gives you an up at the end. It doesn't do that, but it like that line put the movie in perspective for me, and really is the one bit of like special sauce. Is not the horror stuff, not the music stuff, because the way Perfect Neighbor is put together and the depth of all the different levels, the fact that the cops, by all means and purposes, are the good ones.
Yes.
Perfect Neighbor.
Which is amazing. Yes. And this is Florida we're talking about.
And the resolutions are very like it doesn't shy away, but you can't look away. And it's like it's more balanced in that sense of like making you feel good and then like spending 45 minutes upsetting you, than Sinners. But it's like that last line for me is like that, star player hitting a shot with 7 seconds remaining in game 7. That's what it feels like for me.
And I guess for me, again, I come back to Michael B. Jordan's performance. He gets extra points for playing 3 different characters. So give it to Sinners, but by a nose.
It's that close.
It's that close.
It's like
really that close.
It's one of those cases where like you're in the middle of game 7, like Perfect Neighbor might be up by a couple of points midway through the game. It's like a serious danger for a high seed.
I mean, I was more moved by Perfect Neighbor than by Sinners. I was. It had more impact on me. But again,
it's the same for me until that last line.
It's
like, because if you take away that last line, the gap in being moved feels great enough that I would give Perfect Neighbor the win. But that line is what has stayed with me in the like weeks, months plus since seeing the movie. And it's asking you to look at both sides of the experience.
At both sides. All right, so it's Sinners, but literally by a nose.
Literally by a nose.
A 4-3 squeaker. A real squeaker. Okay. Well, the next matchup for me is easy. It's Train Dreams versus Frankenstein. There's no question. I'm picking Frankenstein.
Dealing with the human condition, and it's going to be upsetting, but it's beautiful to look at.
And in a weird sort of way, it has a kind of uplifting ending. And I don't want to give the spoilers to if people know the story, but it's no question for me.
There's elements of even characters that you think don't find their humanity find elements of it and reach a sense of acceptance.
Acceptance, yes. Of things. So what do you think is the score between those two? 4-1? 4-0.
4-1. because I
4-1.
think the sort of like existential narration and the sort of asking the questions of life not being
Right.
linear and whatnot. What does it all
Right.
mean? Like, I think Frankenstein does some of that and does it better.
And
I
does
think
it
it's
better.
enough for Train Dreams to maybe get one,
Right.
but it's 4-1.
4-1. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that. Okay, this is an interesting maxi. Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere versus Begonia.
Yeah, which is like, I mean, it was there in case Marty Supreme when you're asking two different metaphors for America. Even though, like, now that I think about it, Springsteen is also a metaphor for America because he represents America.
Yes.
He represents the best side of it.
Yes.
Really. As like if the main character met Springsteen instead of uh Jesse Plemons, there might have been a different ending.
This she would have been convinced humanity is worth it if she'd met Springsteen. As much as I love you, Bruce, and I love the movie, vote for Begonia.
Yeah, it's like this also might be a case where Springsteen probably emotionally moved me more than Begonia.
Yeah.
But like there is more to Begonia and its exploration of humanity.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Springsteen did move me more, but Begonia blew my mind. So which do you go for? Being moved emotionally or your mind being blown?
Well, so far we have like I mean like there's levels. It's like we can acknowledge that like certain films it's like which one was the one we were talking about where it's like this really does emotionally move me, but there's more to the other one. I forget which
Yeah,
one
what there was more meat on the bones. I don't remember what we were talking
so I
about.
was saying it was meteor.
Yeah, Begonia just blows your mind. The twist at the end you do not see coming. So, okay, Begonia in a
4-2.
4-2. Now this is a tough call. My Mom Jane versus Hamnet.
And this is you
This
because
is me.
because I haven't seen My Mom Jane.
Again, I think I have to go with Hamnet. It's funny, I've been going against all the documentaries here. I've been picking the narrative films because of Jessie Buckley's performance. It's a transformative performance about a mother's love, a mother's grief, what life was like at that time period, trying to understand her husband, who's an artist, and then being transformed by the art at the end. Interesting stories. They're both about women and both about loss. My Mom Jane is about the loss of a mother. Hamlet's about the loss of a child. But just based on her acting performance, I would give it just the slightest edge to Hamlet.
What would be your number?
Oh, man. I make that a 4-3.
Oh, you'd fall on. Would it be as close as? What would it be? Sinners making a bank shot with 7 seconds remaining, or would it like Hamnet win by like you know? Is it safe in Game 7?
I think it's safe in Game 7,
Okay.
but it goes to Game
It
7,
goes to 7.
but wins Game 7 handily, just based on her performance and the score.
So similar to what Sentimental Value did.
Yes.
Which feels.
So notice I've been choosing the narrative film over all the documentary.
No, it's like we didn't have any of our Cinderella teams really, really get in there. But in many ways, like the biggest scare in that round was the scare that Perfect Neighbor put into Sinners.
That's true. That is true.
Otherwise, we have all Best Picture nominees, and it was just an accident moving into the Elite Eight.
We are down to 8, correct?
Down to 8.
Wow. And all right.
Ready? I'm ready to just keep on trucking.
Oh, me too. Let's just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
What's the next matchup? I can't tell from my notes here.
Kick off Elite 8 with the next matchup, which is one battle after another versus F1. Basically almost kind of blockbusters. Both have uplifting endings. Both is down on his luck characters finding themselves, and both, it's like one battle and Sinners are both blockbusters in their own right. They're not as big as F1, yes. But like it is like,
wow,
crowd pleasers in there.
This is hard. I think one battle has more to it, but F1 was more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
So, damn, it's hard to know where to put the priority. Do I put the priority on which one I enjoyed more, or do I put the priority on which one had more stuff in it?
Yeah. It's one of those cases for me in which I feel like it's like one battle is enjoyable enough and isn't a complete downer and holds your interest.
Yeah.
That like it has enough just in terms of just not fun, but is excitement the word, or right, what have you, to take it. But that isn't to take anything away from F1, because like again, F1 might be the more expertly made, not expertly made movie, but it's like there are moments in one battle where it's like it isn't as tight as it could be. Whereas right, F1 I think is pretty much always tight. But absolutely, those lulls or mini mulligans I don't feel pull one battle under the line for me.
I mean, here's a case where if we had been Academy voters, both these films were up for Best Picture. Mm-hmm. You know, and then you had to weight them, or it was ranked choice voting. I mean, F1's the only one I've seen, movie I saw it more than once and enjoyed it just as much the second time. But one battle has more stuff in it. So I don't know how to vote on this. It's the 8th seed versus the number 1 seed here. I don't know. Can we go to another one first and come back to this one? I'm really stuck. I don't know. Which one are you leaning towards?
I mean, like I lean towards one battle because I think it does have more to
more
say,
stuff,
and still it doesn't leave you with a bad feeling in your stomach.
No, it doesn't.
But it like for me it would be 7.
Okay, I can live with that.
Yeah.
So we're making it one battle, but in a 4-3.
Yeah.
Okay. I can live with that. I can't.
Now we have the two international films left, It Was Just an Accident versus Sentimental Value.
And again, it was just an accident. It's a very special film, but there's a reason Sentimental Value won Best Foreign Film, because it could have won Best Picture. It's that special a film.
It's like, if this was a case of one battle versus It Was Just an Accident, I might vote It Was Just an Accident.
Yeah.
But again, against Sentimental Value and the emotional pathos and like showing like trauma healings on all these different levels.
Yes.
It's like it's hard to beat that one.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like you said, that there's a reason that Sentimental Value won best
foreign film and could have won Best Picture. Mm-hmm. Could have. All right. So now we go.
I'd say 4-2.
4-2. I can live with that. Because It Was Just an Accident is that good.
Yes.
So now we go over to the other side of the bracket, and it is now Sinners against
Frankenstein, the two horror movies left. Two horror movies that cleaned up at the Academy Awards.
Yes, they did. Well, I think I'm going with Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's one of those. How do I say it? If this is Get Out versus Frankenstein, Get Out wins.
Yes.
If this is that's the best way to put it. It's like, for me, both Sinners and Frankensteins echo memories of stronger pieces of art. And that for Sinners, it echoes Get Out for me, and Frankenstein echoes Penny Dreadful. And therefore, like, it leaves me torn because, like, in both cases, sometimes I can't separate my memories of like the cataclysmic piece of art versus the one in front of me. It's like they're opposites. The Sinners starts out very
optimistic.
Optimistic. It hooks you. It has all these angles and whatnot, and then makes you feel bad. And then, whereas Frankenstein, you aren't sure how to feel in the first half, and then the second half is this entire exploration of humanity.
Yes.
And
it's not taking anything away from Sinners either.
Because I feel split for me, I can defer to you on this one.
Okay, Frankenstein.
But I think it would be 7.
I think it would be 7 too. It's a 4-3. Okay, Frankenstein. It is. Now the last one before we go into our final 4 is what? Begonia versus Hamnet. Right?
Not Hamlet.
Not Hamlet. I thought it was spelled Hamlet. Oh man, this is a very tough matchup. Both about women. One is a sci-fi, the other is a deeply personal story, and an explanation of how Shakespeare came to create Hamlet.
Yeah, well, once you get into like the higher rounds, you kind of just have good movies going up against each other, as opposed to like a higher seed getting a test from a movie similar to it.
Right.
Other than the powerhouse female performances in both of them. and very good male performances in both of them.
Yes,
Because
very
like
good. Jesse Plemons and
Paul Mescal,
Paul
it's
Mescal,
like
yeah.
either one of them could have been nominated.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm going to give the edge to Hamnet.
Same.
Uh,
Like it's
again, two great movies.
two great movies. Begonia does blow your mind. Really leaves you thinking.
Yes, it does.
But again, like that balance of ripping your heart out while still making you want to watch.
Yeah,
Is like Hamnet does that, and it's hard to do.
it's yes, very hard to do. So what? 4-3?
I'd say 2.
4-2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I'd say Begonia would get 1 for like the concept alone, and then another the for the ending. I
For
think.
the ending.
But in terms of like performance, exploration of grief, like Hamlet even does have the society angle and like being uh poor and trying to make your way. So like I think Hamlet is stronger, but like that isn't to take anything away from Begonia, which should have gotten more discussion. It's like the reason Begonia is the 11th seed is because it wasn't seen as a contender for like anything. No,
it wasn't.
Script, not actress, not best picture, not.
And I don't know why. Maybe part of it is because Emma Stone had won for Poor Things. I don't know. Maybe. The other thing that hit me about Hamnet after we watched it, and I didn't have that thought while we watched it, which was when this whole community is at the Globe Theater watching the play Hamlet, they have all lived through this plague. They have all lost loved ones.
Well, that's that scene when they're all touching him. Yes, that's what that's supposed to mean. Yes, it's not just her.
It's not
who
just
is experiencing this.
Yes,
and
I mean this was like, a plague. Thousands of people died. Yes. Every family lost someone. So I didn't register that while I was watching it. It sort of hit me afterwards. That level of societal trauma and loss. Yeah, so the edge goes to Hamlet here. Okay, we now have a final four.
Final 4. We have One Battle After Another versus Sentimental Value and Frankenstein versus Hamlet.
Damn, this is hard now. Damn, this is hard. Well, I mean, it's one battle's the 1 seed, Sentimental Value's the 4, so they're not that far apart.
Not far apart, and I kind of feel like Sentimental Value takes it.
I do too. I do too.
It's like one of those things where like, what we keep doing this thing like with the one that has more to say versus the one that's more emotional.
Yep.
But it's like.
I think it's
like if you look at what is the definition of the human experience, you talk about like it's like I challenge any person to watch Sentimental Value and not identify it at least in some way.
Yes.
It's like in a humanistic level, I really don't think it's like my dad hasn't watched it yet, but I'm fairly certain he'll get something out of it.
Yes, I do
Whereas
too.
One Battle he was iffy on.
He was very iffy on it. He didn't connect to that in an emotional way.
And that's the thing. It's like I feel like even though One Battle is beloved and won Best Picture for a reason and has a lot to say, it's almost not for everyone.
Right.
Whereas I feel like Sentimental Value actually is.
I agree with you. I have no trouble going
whilst being deeply personal and specific.
Yes.
And telling a very specific story that's also universal.
I'm fine with that. Well, now we come down on the other side.
And I kind of don't even think that it's a 7-game series. I think it's a 6-game series.
So it's a 4-2.
So I think it's 4-2.
4-2.
You could like One Battle would get points for like having something to say, and the direction and how it like gives you that like lift at the
Right.
end, but
Right.
sentimental value does have more.
Right.
So
I agree. Okay, now it's Frankenstein versus Hamnet. Wow. Both of them are stories that explore humanity and loss and what is family, and but I would give the edge to Hamnet there.
yeah, it's like I give lots of props for Frankenstein for going on its run, making it to the semifinals as a 7 seed, and like
it went pretty far.
It's like, not to take anything away from the second half of that movie, because it's like I keep comparing it to Penny Dreadful. I think that's the thing. It's like the first half of Frankenstein made me wish I was watching Penny Dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
The second half of Frankenstein is Penny Dreadful. It's like,
I have to watch Penny Dreadful. I really should
watch that like when you can.
Yeah.
It's like Jacob Elordi echoes the performance of Rory Kinnear, who is Penny Dreadful, and that same thing of this like beautiful humanistic individual that's also breaking your heart at the same time. It's like it's everything that you want to see, but you also see that in Jessie Buckley.
Yes,
and everything that goes on in Hamlet.
I agree. Wow. So now it comes down to
what do you think are the numbers?
4-2.
Yeah, it feels like it's also 6.
Yeah, it feels like it's a 6-game series, 4-2. Close games, all close games. So this is interesting. In our final 2 are the 2 very emotional, family-oriented films about love and loss, Hamnet and Sentimental Value. How interesting that that's what it comes down to. The 3 seed versus the 4 seed for the championship.
Which happens. You see that plenty of times.
You do?
It's it's hard for seeds lower than like 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. I still don't get what it means.
Right.
But but maybe I will someday. But it's hard for seeds lower than that to really make a push for it. But it's like 3, 4 are really no slouches. So.
Oh, I do not know how to choose between these 2.
And it is 7. This I'm very certain
goes 7 games.
Whichever way.
And every game is close.
Yep. Because Hamnet has that historical perspective. It has the elements of like lower class. It has elements. It packs the deeper punch in terms of like just like the loss is there. It's you watch it happen, whereas the grief and sentimental value has happened like years prior.
Happened in the past,
and it's like, but sentimental value has that. I mean, they both have the elements of art that art heals.
Yes,
it's like
they do.
It's watching the art.
And they both have to deal with the theater and
sentimental value. You see it in making it, and it's like this is where I'm torn. Because I know you said that thing that in sentimental value you still weren't sure how you felt about the very last shot.
Yes.
Whereas in Hamnet, the last shot is what moves you the most.
Yes.
But on the other hand, sentimental value shows you that process of how the exact structure in which you show how you can make art that heals.
Yes.
Whereas like you don't. It's like if you saw Paul Mescal's process in Hamnet, I would feel confident giving it the win, because that's like that is the one note that I'm not sure how I feel about. And in sentimental value, like the fact that like the door closes and whatnot, even though I understand it, it doesn't take away from anything throughout the rest of the movie, because that's what happened to Stellan Skarsgård's mother. It's like that happened to her, but it's not going to happen to his daughter. It's like, but I'm still not sure how I feel about it. it's like both films have like, 99%. It's this one tiny little thing
Right.
that if I were making it, I would change, and that's different on either of them. So that's why it's like I'm not sure which one
I know, I'm not either.
overtakes it.
I wish they could tie. It is true, though, what you pointed out. For me, and I love the movie Hamnet, the one flaw is that we don't see his process to create this play. We see the process and sentimental values, that sort of grappling with the artistic choices, because he's trying to make the film with this other actress. Um, but Hamnet has the actual history of Hamlet and
And it has the entire last 30 minutes,
has the
which
last
is
30.
now you're watching the art.
Can they tie? Could we have a tie?
I mean, you can go into overtime, but someone's going to have to win. Is it go into the 10th
Why?
inning, or go to a shootout? We could flip a coin. I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. Sentimental value. I mean, Hamnet maybe has more to it because it has the historical aspect and the play. But I'm not sure I want to see the movie again, only because the scene of the death of the child rips your heart out. Sentimental value, I've already seen it twice and I would see it again.
That is a good point. Because remember when we finished Sentimental Value? It's and I said I feel like I just watched this year's Holdovers.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's like I will go on record saying that was my favorite movie of that year. And it's like I would say that over Past Lives, which was my second favorite.
Right.
Because I watched Past Lives once. I probably would watch it one or two more times over the course of life or with other people. But I'll watch Holdovers literally every year,
There you
every
go.
time at the holidays, and I really don't care. And
Right.
it's like I agree with that. It's like I would still watch Hamnet again. It's I would watch it like if my friend Dan hasn't seen it, or
Right.
it's like if my dad wants to. Well, my dad's seen Hamnet,
He's seen it.
he
He
hasn't
saw
seen
Hamlet,
Sentimental.
which
But
he
it's
liked
like,
very much. He liked
yeah.
it very much.
But I think that is the decider, because I would, if both of us say we would watch Sentimental Value and over and over and over
Yeah,
again.
I've seen it twice and I'd watch it again. We told you, Jim, we'd watch it with him. Because the scene of the death of her son Hamlet is so heartbreaking and so devastating. It's kind of like the movie Hurt Locker. It was a great movie. It's not a movie I want to watch again because it was painful to watch.
But not so painful, because there are movies out there like Manchester by the Sea that you don't want to watch ever again.
Never want to. I wish I hadn't watched it the first time. It was so painful. So we're giving the edge to Sentimental Value.
I think so. In overtime in Game 7.
In overtime, Game 7, double overtime, goes into double overtime.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. Or if we're talking baseball, it would be in like the 15th inning or something.
But there is our winner for our Oscar brackets. Not just Oscars. This was
our year. And if you watched our picks for our Oscar picks that we made weeks ago, we say our favorite movie this year was Sentimental Value. We do say
it's ironic that it ended up
so.
That
It's
way,
like
you can see what a mess my notes are here.
I mean, I'm making all my notes on my computer.
I was trying to make them on this. That was a lot of fun, and it's ironic that it ended up, and we did not rig it that way. It ended up we chose two of our favorite films that came down.
Because it was rigged in case it ended up being One Battle versus Sinners. They were on opposite ends of the bracket, but you have 3-4 on the same side of those other ends.
So you had 1 and 2 on opposite sides for that reason as well.
And it's interesting, when I first made the bracket, I had Sentimental Value as the 6th seed, for it to go up against Hamnet in the semifinals. And then after the Oscars and seeing Secret Agent and Marty skunked, they didn't win anything.
Right.
It's like, now I have to move sentimental value up to the 4 seed, even if that means it doesn't end up having its fated duel with Hamnet, which it feels like it needs to. But you know,
and it still had its duel with Hamnet.
Yeah. So ended up having the same amount of rounds as March Madness, even though the wild card round was shorter. And I think we ended up with the 2 most emotionally poignant movies.
We did. The 2 most emotional, intimate, family-oriented films.
Because neither of them, I don't think, were... Because it's interesting that both One Battle and Sinners got real scares the round before they lost. One Battle almost got taken out by F1, and Sinners almost got taken out by The Perfect Neighbor. Whereas Hamnet and Sentimental Value, the closest for each of them were Blue Moon and My Mom Jane, ironically.
Yes.
For each of them.
For each of them, you're right. Well, that was fun. Thank you for making up the bracket and recommending so many of these films that I really enjoyed.
Yes. And we had a couple of like fun little runs that, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, Wicked for Good, and Arco went on mini runs there. Had some fun with them. Anyone watching can look at the overall bracket. You can make your own if you want to, and make your own choices. If you disagree with us really hard-heartedly or you're telling us that we were horrible in the comments. But
it's a good list of movies. If you're looking for movies to watch, not just the 10 Best Picture nominees, but if you look at this whole list of 32 and more than 32, if you look at the wild card one.
And then the wild card round, it's 40 total.
So enjoy watching movies, and you will see us next. Now, what comes up next? Our discussion of documentaries or the television shows?
We'll be posting our videos, plural, on television shows next, and then after that, if you want us to talk more about the documentaries on this list, we will. Amongst more documentaries too, we'll be doing that after the TV shows.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm out of wine, but I'll give you a... Do you have...
Yes, I still have some wine. A toast to the movies.
I'll put water in it. Something in it. Otherwise it's bad luck.
Keep watching movies. From Weber Floyd Productions.
Keep making art, because it can heal. If that's a message to any of this.
Yes.
Sentimental Value and Hamnet making it to the finals. Art can heal.
Art can heal. Absolutely. Here's to you.
Here's to you. Cheers.